Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. We have a simple mixed operations problem here that involves addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And if you'll notice in this video, I do have the actual multiplication symbol. So um, I know I forgot in a couple earlier videos I had an X in there, but there is actually a symbol for multiplication, which is centered in here. So you'll notice that I've got that in here and plan to continue to use that through future videos, but I'd rather not go off topic too much and just move forward with the problem here at hand. Um, so what I'd like to do here is say you can pause the video if you're not certain and you want to work this one out on your own, and we'll come back and work this out together here shortly. All right. So, if you recall your order of operations convention, that's basically virtually universal, multiplication has precedence over addition and subtraction. And the reasoning for that is multiplication is basically just shorthand for repeated addition. So you do resolve the 3 times 2 first. I know it's confusing sometimes. People like to think, well, that you just simply go left to right, like you're reading a sentence. And you do go left to right, but as you're scanning this problem left to right, you are looking for things like parentheses, which are grouping symbols, or you're looking for exponents, square roots, factorials, anything that if anyone's familiar with the acronym BODMAS, orders is a general term that includes things like exponents, factorials, square roots, things that are basically shorthand for repeated multiplication. Or you might also be looking, as you're going left to right, you're looking for division. Division is just the multiplication by a reciprocal. So it has the same precedence as you're going left to right. But anyhow, you do the multiplication here first. That other information, I have separate videos going in more detail on order of operations. But you do the multiplication first. So the 3 times 2 is 6. So you do the 6, and then you go left to right, and you're looking at what else you have here, but we just have addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction are the same, on the same level as so and honestly, it doesn't matter which order you do these in, but 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 minus 1 is 8, 8 plus 6 is 14. Or I could have said 3 minus 1 is 2, 6 plus 2 is 8. Well, 8 plus 6 again is 14. Again, it doesn't matter the order that you're doing the subtraction and addition, but it is important that you keep the operators with the numbers they're assigned to. A lot of times I'll see people do some strange things with addition and subtraction because they believe that addition comes first but what they're doing is they're actually moving the operators around, which is not correct. So the answer here is 14. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that multiplication is just shorthand for repeated addition. So I wanted to show that a little more detail here by just writing out 3 times 2 as 2 plus 2 plus 2. And I'm showing that here in parentheses, but it doesn't matter. The parentheses are not needed. I'm just doing this for clarity. Again, I will see a lot of people say, well, the answer would be 14 if I had parentheses around the 3 times 2, which is incorrect. I hear that a lot from people that do you just go left to right if there's no parentheses? But what they're forgetting is they're forgetting that multiplication is just shorthand for addition. So multiplication already has precedence over addition and subtraction. There's parentheses are not needed. They're not required to do that multiplication first. So again, 6 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 14. A lot of people will answer this as 22. 22 is probably the most the most incorrect answer. And the only way I can see anybody getting that is they're just going 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 minus 1 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, 11 times 2 is 22. Yeah, you will get that if you're just blindly solving left to right. The thing that people forget too is that nobody was really ever taught to blindly solve left to right. That's not a thing. I mean, here's a mathematics textbook, teacher's edition from the 1950s. So you can go through this, and we use this convention to simplify expressions because students will encounter it elsewhere. And so there's notes that have been put in this old book from the 1950s, practically 70 years ago. Order of operations has roots back into the 16th century. So this is nothing new. You've got a really good example here. 5 plus 3 times 2 means, and what they're doing is they're showing parentheses for emphasis. These are not needed, but they're showing these parentheses to color is used for showing emphasis, and there's what they're explaining here is that the multiplication is done first. So these are equivalent. 5 plus 3 times 2 is equivalent to 5 plus 3 times 2 in parentheses, which is nothing more than the same thing as 5 plus 6 equals 11. So you can see even in this very first example from a 1950s textbook that multiplication has precedence over addition. And it also has, precedence over subtraction. So you can see all these examples in here, really good examples. But unfortunately, a lot of people will say that, hey, I was taught left to right. I really don't believe it. I think what's happening is a lot of people are forgetting what they were taught because there were no textbooks even back then, even earlier. I've got a book, the first year algebra from 1913, and it's shows the same thing. Multiplication and division have precedence over addition and subtraction. So, anyhow, I'm getting in a little more detail than needed here. This was basically just a, simple mixed operations problem, but I just wanted to point out the fact that, there's plenty of good evidence here on the order of operations. Now there are ambiguities, and other things, but which I'm not covering here. This is a very, straightforward problem with very straightforward answer. So anyhow, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please give it a like. Please consider, sharing it with anyone, and also subscribe if you'd like. I've got more of these available. I do have some more information on order of operations in the notes for this video, so you might want to check that out too. In the meantime, look forward to seeing everybody in the next video, and have a great day.